All right. So we'll get back to the phones momentarily. I know we got to catch up on ticket text, but we got a lot going on in the NFL. Brady's retirement kicks off the offseason. Let's cover the issues in football today.
Mike, before we get started with the NFL,
a
little college football talk. There are photographs of Roll Tide 1. Alabama's playing in South Bend to apparently talk to the offensive coordinator of Notre Dame, Tommy Rees.
All right.
What are the odds you think that he hops back on that plane and he is going to be the new OC for Alabama?
All right. Well, some backstory. Alabama already tried to hire UW's OC and got rebuffed. The only thing I know with Tommy Rees is Brian Kelly wanted him at LSU, and he said, no, I'm staying here. He played at Notre Dame, has a bond with Marcus Freeman. But, yeah, I mean, if Bama backs up the truck, doubles the salary, pays him $2.5 a year or something.
And it's kind of guaranteeing you a head coaching job.
Yeah.
You're the OC or DC at Bama or Georgia.
I'd say better than 50%, but I wouldn't say it's a slam dunk based on the ties to the university. I don't know.
Just curious.
No, I hear you. I'd be shocked. Imagine
I mean, it's something that I would be watching, and the fact that they have people outside of the private airport
here. Josh
snapping the
Gaddis
photo.
Available.
Well, he's
a year after winning the most fraudulent Broyles Award in history, fired at Miami. It's because he wasn't calling the plays.
He also can tell you where the light bulbs are at Lowe's. Go ahead.
I'm going to stay in that vein, and I'm going to ask you a question real quick,
Sure.
Rico. Jaden Rashada, he committed to Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
Reports say that there was no NIL deal that had anything to do with him going to Arizona State.
Committed to Miami for an alleged $9 million.
Then he got a raise, went to Florida.
Flipped to Florida for amounts unknown. One problem, as Rico has nailed from the start, a lot of these checks won't cash. They didn't, and he decided to, wait for it, go to Arizona State. Okay. Guys, it's a lesson to be learned. Be careful who you're doing business with. Be careful. Look, if it's not in writing, it didn't happen. So, look, I'm fine with kids and their families getting money. But when you openly are out here just pimping down the street, you do have to have a relationship with where you want to go to school, who you want to play for. It has to be an element of it. Mm-hmm. It can't just be about money.
No, and the fact that if he didn't get any money, I still question the fact that this kid's any good, David.
That's the thing.
He was going to get a ton of money, and he could have been the next Quinn Ewers, where maybe he has a game where you're like, wow, he's good, and then the rest of the time you're like, well, he's really not all that. He could be, this is Spencer Rattler. A lot of quarterbacks come to mind. I mean, Arizona State is good, but my goodness, you went from $11 million to, hey, we got a bunch of
Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah.
Tempe is heaven.
Yeah, it is.
Factually.
That's what I was going to say. Is that the
got a nice
perfect spot
campus
for him?
We got a.
I mean, perfect spot for him. It's kind of
what? It is
off the beaten path.
It is because
the perfect spot for any 18 to 22-year-old.
Yes,
regardless of your sex or sexual orientation or anything in between. It is heaven. It is beautiful weather. It's an amazing campus. It's a killer downtown.
I was about to say, and you're close to a city. So it's not like you're on this college town.
Right.
You got Tempe right there.
You're not in East Bumblewood like East Lansing or Ann Arbor.
Right.
You're near a metropolis.
A couple.
You're sitting courtside at Talking Stick Resort with Rico Beard watching Chris Paul on a Tuesday night.
Or you're down in Old Town.
Right.
Chris Paul on his cane. Let me jump into this quick conversation here because I don't think this matters in the NFL. But
what's that?
Robert Kraft spoke, and he wants Tom Brady to sign a one-day contract and retire a Patriot.
I don't care.
Quote, I do it tomorrow. Not only do I want it, our fans are clamoring for it. One-day contracts don't matter in the NFL. No one's going to see him as a Buccaneer.
No. He goes in as a Patriot. He'll have his number put in a ring of fame or whatever they do out there. They'll do a 21-gun salute. I mean, enough.
It is.
The guy didn't die.
The funny thing is, I sent this text to somebody because I know how much he hates this. And he works for the station. Stoney just hates this. He's like, I don't understand why I don't care. I mean, it's like when they brought Jerry Rice back and Roger Craig back and Ronnie Lott. Okay, fine, whatever. Because you know what? You're always going to identify with a certain city.
I'm with Stoney. I don't need the one-day contract. Like, I think Stoney's right in that it's just a cheap publicity stunt.
It is, but let's just say that LT ended up finishing his career off with the Rams.
Great. You can retire his crack vial in the MetLife rafters.
You would want to bring him back home and say, okay,
no, I don't
started here and you finish here.
Well, first of all, I'm embarrassed of Lawrence Taylor.
Okay.
Who's an absolute
Mark Bavaro.
trash human being.
Mark Bavaro?
An Italian legend.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
One-day contract.
One-day contract.
One-day contract.
Let's jump into this.
The highlights of Mark Bavaro dragging 6 49ers down to the 7-yard line on Monday Night Football is theater.
Dude, that was just mean.
Let me see Brock Wright do that.
I don't think he can do that.
Billy Zylstra. Go ahead, give that a try.
Let's jump into the Denver Broncos for
Kittle's
a second.
game.
Sean Payton is quoting
Yeah.
comments on Russell Wilson. He says, Russell's a hard worker and has played at a high level and won a lot of games in his league. The pressure is on us to put a running game together and reduce the degree of difficulty on his position. I'm excited about him. Can Russell Wilson, under Sean Payton, return to his all-pro form?
No.
You know what?
said all pro, not Pro Bowl.
All pro.
No, absolutely not.
We're going to find out because this is
No,
No.
you don't
no,
get
no.
to say that.
No, I do.
No.
Yes.
I'm not done.
Because we're going to see if he can do this, then he was worth every draft pick and every penny
This ain't
out there.
we're gonna see, Radio.
Can I
Come
finish,
on.
please? Can I finish?
Let's go.
Can I finish?
It's up to you.
Okay. So establishing a run game is something that they were not able to do. It was very Russell Wilson drop back, try to throw the ball deep. So this is something that I am waiting to see what happens because okay. You know
It's
what?
yes or no.
No, it's whatever I say it is.
Just give me a yes or no. Will he return to all pro form? Come
Or.
on.
I'm going to go with or. Go ahead.
It's whatever I say it is.
I can't believe it.
I'm glad you said that, Rico, because it gets me into the Tennessee Titans situation.
Yes.
Oh, you mean I made sense? Okay, go
Yes,
ahead.
you segue into my next part. They hired Ron Carthon to be their GM. Quote from him, I just met Mike Vrabel 2 days ago. They had never met. They don't know each other at all. And the Vrabel is quoted as saying from the Senior Bowl, we're trying to blend what he thinks, what I think, and what's best.
Vrabel only
How is
wants
this
to,
going to work out?
Vrabel only wants to run the ball. I honestly, if you could mix Denver and Tennessee together, you would have you'd have really good teams.
Who's going to have player personnel decisions?
That's the problem right there. It's Vrabel. He's the guy. He's going to call this. The fact that the GM has not met him tells me you already know your pecking order in this organization. Because if you were the man, that coach has already called you and said, hey, congratulations, and I'm going to stop by and take you out to dinner. But if the coach didn't make time for you, then you're not the man.
I think Tannehill's sneaky trade bait. I think they're in a rebuild.
I can see that if certain quarterbacks happen to fall, and
he's budget Garoppolo. He's budget Carr.
He's budget Garoppolo.
Well,
Jesus.
yeah.
Isn't that just called a CFL quarterback?
Edmonton Eskimos. Coming live to the Toronto Argonauts. No, I think Tannehill, it might be time for a little change of scenery. They drafted Willis in the 3rd round. I don't know. I just feel like there's something weird there.
I don't think they're ready for Willis. I just think that they
Is
should.
Willis ready for football?
If perhaps you decided, let's pass the ball. It's okay to throw. It's 3rd and 9. We're just going to run Derrick Henry on a draw. They're not expecting that.
Sounds a lot like Jay Johnson. David, anything else?
Yeah, let me ask you this quick question. With coaching searches, how many rounds do you think they go through? 1, 2, 3. They bring a guy back maybe a second time to kind of see what they think, and they make a decision, right?
Or you're the Colts and you begin interviewing people off the street.
Yeah, it depends on how attractive your job is. An attractive job, you may have to go 3 deep before somebody says, yeah, I want this.
Well, that's what the Colts are about to do. They're about to go to round 3 starting tomorrow. Round 3.
Here's what I believe. And I'm not telling you it's the most nuanced opinion, but it's just how I feel. This entire process, in large air quotes, is nothing more than a shell game for them to just hire Jeff Saturday,
Correct.
the owner's pet.
Correct.
It doesn't even feel legitimate to me. And by the way, I knocked the guy a whole hell of a lot, but how the hell do the Indianapolis Colts not at least pick up the phone and call Harbaugh? A guy who played there, he's in their ring of honor. They have a physical O-line and a running game. They have interviewed some of the most unqualified people in history, but they don't call him?
But I think you've answered your own question.
Because it's a Travis Shamockery.
Because Harbaugh will say, all right, I'll take it. Wait.
Whoa.
What do you mean you're going to take it? Irsay shows up in bunny slippers and a robe. You expect just to offend.
Like Ralphie in A Christmas Story?
Right. You just expect to offend whoever you're interviewing. And Jim, I'm good.
And they really didn't want him to have the job.
Right. Like, I had a burger in Minnesota, right? Yeah.
The Arizona situation is what it is. I don't think anybody wants the job.
Correct.
Ownership's bad. GM leaves in disgrace. You're saddled with a quarterback who's dead this year and possibly is a complete bleep hole. Arizona's a mess. The Indianapolis thing is Irsay going to the supermarket and interviewing cashier level. It's insane.
No, I think it is. Let's bring Saturday back, but we could say we really went and searched around, but he was the best thing that was out there.
I think we went over time.
I think we did.
Our backing track disappeared.
Yeah.
That's football today.
Yeah.